Hi everyone, I'm Maria McLachlan. There is a trailer on Matt Walsh's channel of a documentary called What is a Woman? And apparently quite a few YouTubers have done response videos to it. Now nobody asked me to do a response video to it, but that's okay, I'm not bitter. And as it happens, having watched the trailer, the only thing I can say about it is that it looks pretty damn good. So I look forward to seeing the whole thing, though I'm not so eager as to want to take out a subscription to the Daily Wire, because apparently members get to watch the first showing on 1st of June, which is tomorrow. I'll wait. A few people did suggest that I respond to a video reacting to the trailer by none other than Jamie Raines, aka Jammidodger. So clearly you like to torture me, and having watched Jamie's video, I consider myself duly tortured. One thing I will say up front, I have not had the best week of my life. A couple of really horrible things happened. Here I am at the vet giving my beautiful Plum a last cuddle. As many of you know, I am the archetypal crazy cat lady, and I've seen a few cats put to sleep over the years, but this is the first time I ever took a cat to the vet expecting a relatively quick and easy fix, only to get a shocking diagnosis and the realization that the kindest thing was euthanasia then and there. She was quite an elderly cat and in a lot of pain, so I'm not in the mood to be as charitable to the execrable Jamie Raines as I usually am. Let's jump in.
I was getting messages and being tagged to react to and about this same trailer for a documentary film thing that is looking suspiciously transphobic.
Oh, everything looks suspiciously transphobic to you, Jamie. Give me a break. Let's go to Matt Walsh.
What is a woman? Can you tell me that? Well, you're at the Women's March. You must have some idea.
So we don't know what's been edited out here, but it looks as if these young women are dumbfounded by the question. Not a great look, is it?
Please, if one person could tell me what a woman is.
You are not here for women! We ask you to leave!
What is that?
What is that? Oh wow, so a dude going to a woman's march and going up to women and asking them to define what a woman is. And probably acting like it's some big gotcha moment.
Hey, it's a fair question in this day and age, and by not showing anyone giving the only possible answer that is meaningful, coherent and non-circular, Matt Walsh is making those who are in thrall to gender ideology look ridiculous, which is easy to do because they are ridiculous, but I don't believe every single woman on that march is as silly as that. I'm sure there was some real feminists on it, but by shouting that question out and not getting the obvious answer, he makes them look like total muppets.
I mean, what definition was he looking for? One based off of genitals and reproductive organs?
Well, yes, it is our potential role in reproduction which determines whether we are male or female, and the words man and woman are simply the words we use for adult male and female Homo sapiens, as you well know, Jamie.
That's a little bit very narrow and not exactly great to boil people down to their parts.
Got that? It's a little bit very narrow and not exactly great to boil people down to their parts. Jamie really said that, and I had to repeat it because it's such a brilliant, sophisticated, incisive, slam dunk argument. At least that's what Jamie's thick fans probably think.
A woman is not anything in particular.
There is not one particular thing.
It could be many things to many people.
Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas.
I like scented candles, and I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm a woman?
Oh dear God, what is he doing? Why is he making this?
Well, he's making it to show how unutterably stupid gender ideology is, and how stupid those who promote it are making themselves look, and how easy it is to take the piss out of them by pretending to dumb down to their level. Hope that helps.
So you just show a compilation of people saying it can't be boiled down to one thing. Some women do have penises, like trans women. Some men do have vaginas, like some trans men. And your response is, I like scented candles. Is that what makes a woman? No.
Why not? And if not, What does make a woman if it's not either reproductive function or liking girly stuff? I wonder what that silly woman Walsh is talking to thinks.
That's a great question.
Oh my God, she said it's a great question.
A journey to discover the truth. The truth about what?
What part of the documentary title don't you understand, Jamie? What is a woman? You can't tell us, and neither can your missus. We haven't forgotten this, you know.
For most people in the world, like me, you know you're a woman, like I do up here.
Shaba,
Yeah.
if your body suddenly disappeared and you were just a floating head, would you still be a woman?
Yeah.
Forgetting your internal plumbing, it's what you know you are up here.
Back to Matt Walsh.
Can a man become a woman?
I'm not a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Oh, she's not a woman? Well, silly me. She just happens to look and talk like one, and I put money on her having female sex characteristics too, but because she's not a woman, she can't say whether a man can become a woman. Fair dues.
Women only know what women are.
Ha! What an idiot. He obviously doesn't know that only biologists know what women are.
Can a man become a woman? That's a silly question.
Says Jamie without a trace of irony. It's just a question, Jamie. He's on a journey to discover the truth. Why do you think it's silly?
Because trans women are not men who become women. They are women who happen to be trans. At least ask the right questions.
There really is no limit to your desire to control other people's speech, is there, Jamie? Let him ask the questions he wants, for crying out loud. So your answer to that question, can a man become a woman, is no? You don't believe in gender fluidity? What a bigot.
Are you a cat?
No.
Can you tell me what a cat is? You want to tell us what a woman is?
Yes, I mean, I don't know if this is lovely editing or if this is actually how it went down, but ask somebody to define an animal. Yeah, that really makes sense. Asking someone to define an animal that has nothing to do with the human concept and language of gender and sex.
Well, it does make sense if your purpose is to expose the flaws of gender ideology, and the person you are talking to has just made the extraordinary assertion that only women know what women are. The natural extension of that reasoning, for want of a better word, is that only a cat knows what a cat is. Even if you hold that woman is a gender not necessarily related to sex, you should still be able to explain what woman gender is and how it differs from man gender. But you can't, or won't, because you know it would expose your regressive beliefs, and that's why we get ridiculous cop-outs like, I'm not a biologist and only a woman knows what a woman is, or just walking off.
It's really not the clever move he thinks it is.
The fact that you can't see the cleverness in the move doesn't mean it's not clever, Jamie. And at this point, Jamie brings up what happened on Twitter when Graham Linehan was asked to define a chair. I've decided not to go there in this video, but to section that bit off for another video. In fact, if there is one reason I'm glad I decided to watch this excruciating load of crap, it's because it's given me ideas for a few more videos. Now, let's watch Jamie react to an honest trans-identifying woman.
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male. I will never be a man.
Oh. No, no, do not agree with that. 99.99999% of trans men will very strongly disagree with that statement.
Firstly, citation needed. Secondly, so what if you don't agree? Doesn't mean it's not true. In fact, it is true, and you have no argument against it. You can't or won't say what it is that makes you think you're a man, whereas Scott can say why she isn't one.
Don't know if that person actually identifies as a trans man. By the sounds of it, they were assigned female at birth and transitioned in the sense of taking testosterone and living within society as a man. But yes, sure, for the purposes of your seemingly transphobic documentary, go and find one of the very, very few trans people who holds these kind of gender-critical, transphobic-y views on trans people, and include them.
You know, I find the fact that Jamie hasn't heard of Scott Newgent quite revealing. Scott is one of several trans-identifying people who, over the past few years, have been very vocal critics of the appalling practice of medically transitioning children. It suggests Jamie doesn't read or listen to or engage with many people or any people outside of her echo chamber. But yes, of course, in the interests of balance and to avoid being accused of only showing the side of the argument being promoted by idiot trans activists, Matt Walsh is going to include people from the other side of the argument too. Are you seriously saying he shouldn't, Jamie? Jamie then goes on to say quite a lot of stuff about Scott Newgent that makes her sound like a hero. Go, Scott.
Scott also appears to run an organisation that seems to promote being against kids transitioning, basically, despite the fact that 90% of transitioning in childhood is social, and the other 10% is a little sprinkling of puberty blockers for a very small number of those trans kids, puberty blockers being something that is completely reversible.
Liar. That is such an evil lie. I dealt with this subject very recently in a response to Rebecca Watson, who blithely repeats the same lie. What I didn't mention in that video is... I'll link below, and I will also link to the extremely informative website of the campaigning group Scott Newgent founded. It's called TRE Voices, subheading Trans Adults and Others Screaming to Stop Childhood Medical Transition. Jamie could do worse than read it, but I suspect Jamie would rather not know real facts.
Do you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
A teeny tiny bit, maybe.
Here comes the damage caused by rapid onset gender dysphoria, a theory that actually has no solid evidence, and a piece of research that's also just been rejected by the trans community, scientific community, and the medical community.
Okay, Jamie didn't reference this extract, but I found it was published in 2018 by the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. ROGD is not a medical entity recognised by any major professional association. It's not in the DSM or ICD, blah, blah. I think Jamie's use of this passage here is disingenuous because the question from Matt Walsh was...
Do you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
That was the whole point of Lisa Lippman's research, which I talked about in some detail in a video response I did to Katie Montgomery. So again, I'm not going to repeat it here. The point was to investigate whether social contagion played any part in the dramatic rise in teenage girls, in particular, calling themselves transgender. It's not about being a medical entity, it's about a harmful social phenomenon for which there is a mountain of anecdotal evidence. I don't think there is any particular need to collect any more data on it than Lisa Lippman has already done. It seems such an obvious point that clinicians working in the field need to be aware that it happens. It's definitely something they should explore in depth with their patients, and it is one of many reasons why they shouldn't be rushing to affirm gender in young people.
It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance.
It got me at What got you at 42? What?
Your cult, obviously.
I'm just going to say how it comes across to me personally is that this person, Scott, maybe has some regrets over their own transition and is now seemingly projecting that onto other people. Kind of reminds me of the case of Kira Bell in the UK, someone who made a mistake, shouldn't have transitioned, and now has actively tried to reduce access to healthcare, particularly for trans kids.
Well, Scott has spoken and written about what she endured, and it's a shame Jamie couldn't be asked to do a modicum of research. All I will say in Scott's defence is that she is not running around trying to dissuade adults from medically transitioning. But she's a mother, she cares about children, and for that she should be lauded, as should Kira Bell, obviously. Every decent, caring person should be opposed to medically transitioning kids, to setting them on the path of a lifetime of risky medication and irreversible surgery, infertility and anorgasmia. When they have grown up, they can make an informed decision, but just leave kids alone.
Just because it was the wrong thing for you, just because it's the wrong thing for a very, very small number of people, does not mean it's the wrong thing for everybody else.
And by the same token, just because you feel it was the right thing for you to do doesn't mean it's the right thing for anyone else. And when people get it wrong, the effects on their lives are catastrophic. That's why they don't need people like you promoting falsehoods. I'm leaving out great chunks of what I consider to be dangerous misinformation in Jamie's video because I just can't do them justice in one video. They need videos specifically devoted to them, so they're on my to-do list. Some I've already covered in previous videos, such as the nonsense Jamie talks about puberty blockers and this.
I've never really heard of anybody having any kind of trans-related surgery before the age of 18.
For crying out loud, it's not hard to find out this information, and I put it in a recent video response to Rebecca Watson, who is similarly ignorant. Mind you, even Rebecca didn't attempt such an asinine argument as this one.
But again, you don't see anybody getting irate and upset and campaigning against the fact that cis teenagers who are under 18 are having plastic surgery with parental consent, such as rhinoplasty, gynecomastia, which is top surgery, and other types of surgery as well.
Gynecomastia isn't top surgery. It's a condition in males that in rare, severe cases is treated by top surgery. Only on that ridiculous website Jamie managed to find is it misdescribed as the treatment for the condition. Whoever wrote the text on that website didn't know what they were talking about.
I'm not commenting on that at all or calling for that to be stopped or saying that's problematic. I'm just saying, why is it that it's only when it comes to trans kids that people suddenly have this issue? There's a clear pattern that medical practices that are seen as okay in cis people and cis kids, suddenly when they are done for trans kids and trans people, they are no longer okay.
If Jamie can't see the difference between getting overlarge breasts reduced because a girl is struggling with back pain and having them removed completely because she thinks she's a boy, or the difference between having a bump in your nose removed and having your penis removed, I despair.
They're masculine girls. They're feminine boys. What are we going to do about that? Carve them up?
There are feminine boys and masculine girls, including feminine trans boys and masculine trans girls. Because funnily enough, your gender isn't dictated by how masculine or feminine you are.
So what is it dictated by, Jamie? What is it that dictates the knowledge up here that has nothing to do with your sex? What exactly is gender on planet stupid?
Define gender. Oh, forget it.
If I were Jamie, I'd do an introductory video giving a clear and concise explanation of gender, like I've done about gender criticism for my channel, and giving specific examples of what she thinks makes her a man. On second thoughts, I wouldn't do that if I were really Jamie, because I wouldn't be able to. That's why she hasn't done it in the past 10 years of her channel. That's why she instead makes video after video lying and spreading hate about people who disagree with her.
I care about the truth. I care about children. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them.
Oh, it doesn't feel like caring.
It does to me. Makes a refreshing change, actually.
Honestly, that felt like a hot mess and was just filled with all of the transphobic dog whistles and transphobia that was thinly veiled as caring about children.
Oh, this is just vile. Why would anyone care about people claiming to be transgender if it wasn't for the fact that children are being hurt and women are being hurt? Matt Walsh is a father. He cares about kids, certainly more than Jamie, who evidently doesn't even know what the term dog whistle means.
It doesn't make sense to me. There's just a lot of fear-mongering going around, there's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of half-truths.
And they're all coming from you and others in your cult. Enough. You know, up until about, 6 or 7 years ago, if I had seen there was to be a documentary called What is a Woman, I would probably have imagined that it would be a documentary celebrating women, highlighting a diversity of women's achievements against all the odds while still being disadvantaged in so many ways, and maybe comparing different cultural expectations placed on women. I would never have dreamt it would show how more than 2 decades into the 21st century, there are women who have been so captured by a ridiculous, nonsensical and deeply harmful ideology that, when asked to define what they themselves are, they can't bloody do it. I believe that in years to come, those women will remember their behaviour and their betrayal of generations of women who fought for women's rights with embarrassment. Finally, you know that expression about living rent-free in people's heads, or in hearts and minds too, in my case apparently? Here's a comment made elsewhere about a previous video response I made about Jamie. Oh no, she did not just go after Jammidodger. Mother. By the way, if folks don't know, Jammidodger is a trans man and a YouTuber. In fact, a very wholesome, positive and heartwarming YouTuber. Look him up. Isn't it amazing how one person's wholesome, positive and heartwarming YouTuber can be someone else's hateful, lying groomer? Attacking him, of all people, would earn one a special place in hell if it existed. Just, die in a fire, Maria. That's trans activism. Thanks for watching. Bye.